As you may have seen earlier on, some of the Britons who are caught up in the problems there have already arrived back here in the UK. One of them is Ben Fetton, and he's already returned from the region with us now. Morning to you, Ben.
Morning.
When did you get back?
I got back on Tuesday night.
Okay, and what were you doing in Kathmandu?
So I'm the Country Director for Adam Smith International, a British company that's implementing a number of long-term projects in Nepal.
Okay.
I've had about 100 staff in Nepal on Saturday when the earthquake hit.
Well, I wonder if you could just tell us about those moments. So where were you and what was it like?
So I was with about 6 colleagues in our office, and suddenly the building started shaking very violently. Now you're told when an earthquake hits you're supposed to get under a table or somewhere hard, but it's interesting that your instinct kicked in and we all just jumped up, ran out of the building. 2 of us with no shoes on, left all our phones and things behind. It was just a very instinctive.
Was this in Kathmandu?
Moment. This was in Kathmandu, yeah.
Because we've just been seeing some pictures now, and this is one of them that you took of the devastation. Is that also still in Kathmandu?
That's right, yeah.
So are these houses that have collapsed?
Yeah, we basically, after the first 2 earthquakes, which happened within about half an hour of each other, we waited in open ground for about 3 hours in case of further aftershocks, and then we walked across the city, which took about an hour to our hotel. And so we kind of got to witness firsthand the immediate after effect of the earthquake.
We've seen some of the images of the aftershocks. I wonder if you could describe a little more just the sense of what it feels like when the quake hits, because something most people will never have experienced, and certainly not on this scale. What is it actually feeling like on the ground?
I mean, you can physically see the ground moving forwards and backwards, which is a very, very unreal experience. And there's a sort of very deep roar, and it's I can't really compare it to anything else I've experienced. But I think the thing to understand for the people in Kathmandu and the region is for about 72 hours after the first quake, there were perhaps 100 aftershocks of various different levels of intensity. And this created a huge sense of anxiety. About 24 hours after the first earthquake, there was a very large aftershock. And people are terrified, basically. And that's why a lot of people are still out in the open, because they've been very scared about, whether it's over.
And from your experience in Nepal, in Kathmandu, the last time the region experienced something like this was in the 1930s and recovered.
Yeah.
How do people feel now about the future? I mean, is there any hope looking at the future now when we hear of how difficult it is to get aid through?
I mean, the key problem with getting aid to the rural areas is that a lot of roads are blocked by landslides. There are, at the moment, only about 20 helicopters in Nepal. There's very limited information. I mean, I spent 48 hours trying to track down all my staff to make sure they were all okay. Phones weren't working, the internet wasn't working, and with big information black spots, it's very hard to work out where to target that assistance. I mean, looking to the future, I think it's well understood what needs to be done to help Nepal prepare for this. It has been understood for many years. Maybe this will be the wake-up call which helps people implement some of those ideas.
Ben, thank you very much.
Thank you. It's time to get the news, the travel, the weather, where you are.